Hi, and welcome back to Christy's Cooking Corner. Today we are going to make some yummy blueberry muffins, and they are going to be completely from scratch. Scratch is a new thing in my house. Well, it's not too new, but in the last year or so, we've really become fond of scratch versus from the box. So we are going to start by, I'm just going to show you all of the little tools I have here to get started, and then I will introduce the ingredients as well as teach you how to put it all together to make some delicious blueberry muffins. First, I have a smaller bowl, and this bowl is going to be for my wet ingredients. So you don't need quite as big of a bowl as you will like the mixing bowl where we combine all of the ingredients together. I have a rubber scraper here that I'll probably end up using towards the end just to get all the little bits and pieces out of the mixing bowl. I have one spoon for my wet ingredients, and then I have another spoon to combine the wet with the dry ingredients. And here is my scooper that I like to use to scoop the batter into the muffin tin that I've already lined with some baking cups. And you're more than welcome to just spray your tin if that's how you like to do it. For me, it's just easier to do the paper cups. You're going to start, before I show you the ingredients, I want you to start warming up your oven for 375. And that way it can be preheating while we're putting all of this together. So what I have for our ingredients is we have a half a cup of butter or margarine. I'm using butter. I like the taste of butter better, but it may not be as good for you. And then I have 3/4 cup of sugar here. I have 2 eggs. I use brown eggs. You may use whatever kind of eggs that you like to use. And those will be my first 3 ingredients. I also have here a half a teaspoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, a half a cup of milk, 2 cups of flour, as well as pure vanilla. I like to use pure other than imitation. I like the real natural taste of it. Imitation is also great to use as well. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to mix our butter and sugar together, and we're going to make it nice and fluffy. We want it to be, you're going to make sure your butter is nice and soft because you're not going to get as fluffy of a texture. Add our sugar. We're going to just kind of mix it all together until it is all nice and fluffy. Creamed. You can use this you can do it with a mixer, you can do it with a hand mixer. I actually usually use my electric mixer. I just couldn't figure out how to work it with the video. Someday I will, because I've got so many more yummy recipes that I don't necessarily do by hand. And so I'd love to figure out how to put my mixer in this, but I just haven't gotten that far yet. Okay, so now we've got our butter it's kind of creamed together. You can see the texture. It's really fluffy and creamed together. Next we're going to do is we're going to add our eggs, but what we're going to do with our eggs is we're going to add them one by one, and we're going to kind of beat it first with the spoon before putting it with the sugar and butter. I hope that doesn't seem too confusing. It's not really that hard. I just kind of made it sound hard. So we'll just kind of stick it in there. And we're going to just kind of beat it up a little bit in the bottom. And now we will mix it together. We'll do the same thing with the second egg. I want to make sure that it's nice and creamed and mixed together first before we add the second egg. But we'll do the exact same thing, and it just really creates that nice fluffy texture that you want for your muffins. Keeps everything nice and smooth. Okay, all right, I'll mix this all together. Let's see. And next we're going to actually add our vanilla. We're going to add a teaspoon of vanilla. Trick that I learned a long time ago. I don't actually know if it's accurate being an amateur chef, but somebody told me to use the lid of my vanilla as a teaspoon, and that's actually what I always do because it never tastes terrible to have a little bit extra vanilla if it's not exactly right anyway. So, okay, now that I've got that all mixed together, I'm going to add my vanilla. So I'm just going to use the lid here, pour in my teaspoon of vanilla, and mix. We're splashing all over, but we're gonna mix. Okay, and that concludes our wet ingredients. So we're just gonna set this to the side. We'll put together our dry ingredients in the larger mixing bowl. A lot of people like to use put their wet ingredients in the mixing bowl. I like to put my dry ingredients in the mixing bowl because it makes it so I don't have as much flour kind of puffing around. So first thing we'll do is add our flour. This is 2 cups of flour. We'll have half a teaspoon of salt. Don't do a tablespoon. Probably won't taste very good. I have 2 teaspoons here of baking powder. We're going to just mix this together. So it's all nice and mixed up. We're going to, Okay. Okay, that looks great. Okay, next what we're going to do is we're going to add we'll put that to the side, bring back our wet ingredients, we're going to put our milk in it. And that was a half a cup of milk. Mix it really sloshy, so mix slowly so that you're not sloshing it all over your kitchen and that you don't lose that texture. Okay. Okay, next we're going to do is we're going to combine. So I'm going to take out my dry spoon. We're going to combine the wet and the dry together. And I'm going to keep using that same spoon for the mixing. Just make sure that we get everything out of here so that our muffins are not too dry. Nobody likes a real dry muffin. We all like them to be moist and fluffy. Okay, next we're going to just mix this all together. Very simple. The other ingredient I didn't mention before was because I have them rinsed and drained. That's the blueberries. I'm using fresh blueberries. You can do frozen blueberries. I have a hard time with keeping the batter from turning purple. I'm not sure if that's just the case whenever you use frozen blueberries, but if you have a trick, let me know because I'd love to know how to do that since blueberries are not always in season and not always cheap either. So sometimes it is just better for the pocketbook to buy the frozen. So I'd love to know how to make my muffins still turn out beautiful if you have any hints for me. Okay, once we've mixed this up good, then we will make a little funnel in the middle. Okay, and we're going to make the funnel, just kind of a little well, I guess, for our blueberries. I'm using 1.5 cups of blueberries. I've used more blueberries before. I've also used less blueberries, just kind of to adapt to what my husband really enjoy. And you can do the same. You can also use smaller blueberries. I'm using larger blueberries that I got from Costco. Right now, that's where I found the best price on the blueberries. I wanted to show you this recipe, so that's just what I'm using. I have one daughter that actually prefers the smaller blueberries over the larger ones, but tough luck for her today. Oh, this looks so good. And you know what? Just wait until you smell them baking in your house. Oh, it is divine. It's the perfect time to have unexpected company come. Okay. Okay, now we're ready to just dish it into our pan. It makes 12 muffins. Sometimes I've had it actually go farther. Sometimes I've had it go less. So we'll just see where this takes us today. Okay. So we'll just quickly scoop them in. I like to make it so that it's about 3/4 full. This is a thicker batter, so it's kind of harder to judge than like your cupcake batter or maybe even muffin batter from a box. But I just try to make the best, just eyeball it, make my best choices and see how they turn out. Sometimes we have a little over full muffin cups, but that's okay. It's just yummy goodness, so just makes it for a yummy muffin. Okay, oh wow, this is going to go a lot further, I think, than 12, but we'll just bake 12 for right now. Okay, after you have these all filled, we're going to bake them for 25 minutes in your oven that should be preheated for 375. It should be about ready. Yep, mine's ready. So we'll pop these in there and bake them in just a minute. Let's see. So I just keep distributing until I see that I like how they look, and you know, your blueberries are going to get softer and smaller as they're cooking. So sometimes that can deceive your eye a little bit, I found. Let's see. Okay, so we'll just bake another pan with the rest of that. Okay, so now I'm going to pop these in the oven. I will come back in about 20 to 30 minutes and you'll see the end result. Hi, welcome back to Christy's Cooking Corner. I just wanted to show you the end result of our blueberry muffins that we made earlier. They're so yummy, so delicious. Oh, I love them. There is one thing I didn't mention. There are a couple variations you can do with the blueberry muffins. Is that you can do a streusel topping on top. I didn't do that because it's too sweet for me for something like breakfast. It just kind of, it's very delicious, but it's very overwhelming sometimes when you want something just simple and easy for breakfast in the morning. Another trick you can do is you can sweeten up your blueberries a little bit with some sugar before adding them into the batter. But I like the really tart taste of the blueberry when it's in there, just in the muffin. And don't forget, blueberries are a great antioxidant that my kids always call a superhuman food. There you go. A superhuman food for you. So there's a great recipe with a superhuman food, and I hope you really enjoy these blueberry muffins that we made today. Thank you very much.